After years of their brutal divorce drama finally seeming to cool off, new chaos is exploding again. Reports say Angelina Jolie is planning to drop a devastating tell-all book about Brad Pitt, and insiders claim it's packed with secrets that could destroy his clean-cut image for good. The once golden boy of Hollywood is now standing in the middle of a storm he can't escape.
From ugly custody battles to the abuse scandal that refuses to die, Brad's reputation keeps sinking fast. Add in the never-ending Jennifer Aniston gossip and the whispers spreading through Hollywood, and his fall looks even worse than anyone could have imagined.
Angelina, who's stayed quiet for years to protect her privacy and her kids, has finally had enough. Sources say Brad's been pushing her buttons and backing her into a corner, and now she's ready to fight back. With her words. This was the same Brad Pitt once sold as the perfect man, a heartthrob, a humanitarian, an Oscar-winning producer. The guy your mom loved and your dad wanted to grab a beer with. But peel back that shiny image and what's underneath isn't pretty. Behind the smile is a man drowning in alcohol, breaking marriages like they're movie props and facing lawsuits worth hundreds of millions. Even his children reportedly want nothing to do with his name anymore, and that's the biggest heartbreak of all. Now it's 2025 and his headlines don't scream Hollywood legend. They scream trouble. A washed-up dad suing his ex-wife over wine while his kids keep their distance like he's toxic. The core of this whole drama still ties back to that one ugly plane incident. But things actually got messy way before that. Let's rewind to 2005, when Brad Pitt ditched Jennifer Aniston like an old pair of jeans. He was still married when he started filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie, and that's where it all exploded. Sparks flew, tabloids went crazy, and Jen was left blindsided, completely in shock. Vanity Fair first covered the scandal in 2005 and revisited it in 2024. And Jen didn't sugarcoat anything. She admitted she wanted kids, but Brad just wasn't interested. He had other plans, and they didn't include her. Because why start a family with your wife when you can start a media circus with Angelina, right? The world painted Angie as the other woman, but somehow Brad came out looking clean, like he always does. That's his trademark. Create the chaos, then stand in the middle of it grinning like he's innocent. Even Jennifer herself once said he lacked a sensitivity chip, which is her polite way of saying he only cares about himself. TMZ dropped a bombshell that took things to a darker level. The outlet reported that Angelina Jolie became fed up with Brad's heavy weed use and constant drinking. Mix that with what she believed was a serious anger problem, and it all turned dangerous for their kids. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. This wasn't just some fling gone bad or another Hollywood love triangle. This was Brad setting the stage for years of chaos. Selfish choices, no accountability, and leaving women to clean up the mess while he kept flashing that charming grin for the cameras. Brad built his entire career on being the good guy, when behind closed doors, he was anything but. Then came the illusion, the picture-perfect family that had the whole world fooled. Between 2006 and 2014, Brad and Angelina sold a fairy tale fit for Disney. Angelina had already adopted Maddox in 2002, Zahara in 2005, and Pax in 2007. Then Brad swooped in, playing the role of super stepdad, legally adopting them and showing off his perfect dad act. After that, the couple had their own kids, Shiloh in 2006 and twins Knox and Vivian in 2008. And the media went insane. They were branded Hollywood's golden family, saving the world while walking hand in hand on red carpets. Here's something most people don't realize. Brad Pitt's name quietly popped up behind a bunch of women and minority-led projects like The OA, Paper Girls, The Underground Railroad, Minari, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, If Beale Street Could Talk, and even The Father of the Bride reboot. Sounds noble, right? But some say it was just another PR play to keep his progressive Hollywood hero image alive, while chaos brewed at home. And speaking of image, let's rewind to 2008 when Brad and Angelina made a serious power move. They dropped a jaw-dropping $28 million on their French estate, Chateau Miraval, not just a romantic hideaway, but a full-blown wine empire. It wasn't just property, it was branding. Then, in 2014, they turned that very estate into the stage for their picture-perfect wedding. Every one of their 6 kids played a role. Maddox and Pax walked Angelina down the aisle, Zahara and Vivian were flower girls, and Shiloh and Knox carried the rings. The photos? Straight out of a fairy tale. But here's the twist. That same vineyard, once hailed as the symbol of their love, is now worth nearly $500 million and has become their biggest legal battlefield. Leave it to Brad to turn a bottle of wine into a courtroom war zone. And just when it seemed like the fairy tale couldn't crumble any harder, boom, the 2016 private jet incident happened. September, mid-flight from France to LA, what should have been a calm family trip turned into Brad's career death sentence. Reports claimed he was drunk, furious, smashing things, and even poured beer on Angelina and the kids. By the time that plane touched down in Los Angeles, the Pitt-Jolie family was shattered beyond repair. What should have been a quiet flight home turned into a nightmare. Reports claim the kids tried to protect their mom, and Brad allegedly choked one child and struck another. Can you even imagine that? That's not just a bad dad moment. That's someone showing his true colors when there's no red carpet or flashing cameras around. The FBI got involved and even filed a probable cause memo, but somehow no charges were made. In Hollywood, it seems even child abuse can get treated like just another bad press week. But Angelina wasn't staying silent anymore. She'd had enough. Within days, Los Angeles officials confirmed they were investigating Brad for alleged child abuse after that explosive in-flight fight. And before the dust even settled, Jolie filed for divorce. Official reason: irreconcilable differences. Translation: she was done protecting him. When your husband turns a luxury jet into a fight scene, you don't hang around waiting for part 2. Years later, Angelina opened up about how that period broke her spirit. She said she couldn't sleep, couldn't feel calm, and couldn't silence the noise in her head. Her words painted a chilling picture of what life with Brad had become: emotional exhaustion and fear behind the glamorous facade. Reports later revealed that the FBI did step in to review what really happened on that infamous private flight, but in true Hollywood fashion, no charges were ever filed. Even though the agents created a full statement of probable cause, the case quietly disappeared. But the damage was already done, especially inside the Pitt-Jolie family. Fast forward to 2021, and Maddox, the eldest, made a move that shook everyone. If Brad thought his son Pax's angry words were just teenage attitude, Maddox proved it was much deeper. He testified in court and made it crystal clear. He no longer considered Brad his father. That's not rebellion, that's rejection. To drive the point home, he even dropped Pitt from his legal documents completely. Imagine your child deleting your last name like a typo. That's how broken things had become. Then came a scathing Father's Day post that went viral, calling Brad a terrible and despicable person who showed no empathy toward his youngest kids, who tremble in fear when he's around. Brutal words, but they painted a haunting picture of what life inside that home was really like. And just when things couldn't sting more, in 2023, Zahara made her own statement. During her sorority introduction at Spelman College, she proudly called herself Zahara Jolie. No Pitt, no hesitation. That single moment spoke louder than any tabloid headline. Vivian wasn't far behind. In 2024, she worked alongside her mom on Broadway, helping produce The Outsiders, a huge moment for her career. But when the program came out, her name wasn't listed as Vivian Jolie Pitt. Nope, it read Vivian Jolie. Imagine being Brad Pitt, watching your daughter shine on one of the biggest stages in the world, only to realize your name didn't make the credits. That's a gut punch no Hollywood PR team can spin away. Sources told Us Weekly that Brad was devastated. Quote, "To him, it was more than a name change. It was a symbol of a deeper estrangement that's been building for years." Unquote. And honestly, who could deny it? But the ultimate blow came just weeks later, from Shiloh herself. On May 27, 2024, Brad's so-called golden child, his first biological daughter, legally changed her name to Shiloh Jolie. At just 18, she walked into adulthood by cutting her father out completely, and she did it officially through the courts. That wasn't just emotional rejection, it was a legal declaration that she's done with him. After decades of Brad trying to sell the Hollywood's best dad image, his own kids have turned their backs one by one. By 2025, half of his children no longer carry his last name. That's not a parenting rough patch, that's a full-blown collapse of his family legacy. Brad Pitt didn't just lose his Hollywood shine, he lost his own name inside his home, and no Oscar can fix that. Shiloh had always been known as a daddy's girl. There were even reports in April 2024 claiming she'd started spending more time with Brad, maybe even moving next door to be closer to him. For a second, it looked like things were softening between them. But that illusion didn't last long. Just a month later, in May, 3 days after her 18th birthday, Shiloh filed to legally change her name to simply Shiloh Jolie. Her lawyer cited painful events in her life as the reason behind it, and that said it all without needing another word. Then came the next chapter in Brad's downfall, the infamous wine war. Because of course, he couldn't just lose his family, he had to drag his business reputation down with him too. When Angelina decided to sell her half of Chateau Miraval in 2021, Brad tried to stop her with a secret NDA. He allegedly wanted to silence her from ever speaking about the abuse by tying her to a contract over the vineyard. That's not smart business. That's manipulation and designer packaging. People called it what it was, a desperate power move. He wasn't protecting an asset, he was protecting himself. And while some defenders tried to excuse it as just family tension, the pattern was clear. Angelina wasn't playing Brad's control games, not this time. Instead of signing his hush-hush NDA, she flipped the script and sold her 50% stake in Chateau Miraval to Russian billionaire Yuri Shefler, the mogul behind Stolichnaya vodka. And when Brad found out, he lost it. In 2022, he sued her for betrayal, crying that she sold the property without his approval. But Angelina came swinging right back with a $250 million countersuit, accusing him of using the business to manipulate and control her. She turned his precious vineyard into his own personal downfall, and honestly, that's poetic justice. Brad's team tried to downplay everything, calling the infamous plane incident just an intoxicated argument. They admitted it escalated more than it should have, but still insisted, quote, "It did not reach the level of physical abuse and no one was harmed," unquote. But at this point, who's buying that? Meanwhile, Chateau Miraval is now worth over $500 million. But instead of celebrating, Brad's drowning in legal chaos, suing his ex-wife, and fighting off a Russian billionaire all at once. The man's supposed to be producing fine wine, but all he's bottling up now is pure embarrassment. And as if that wasn't enough humiliation, there's the Weinstein betrayal. Angelina revealed that Brad knew Harvey Weinstein had tried to assault her when she was just 21. You'd think any decent man, especially a husband, would have cut ties for good. But nope. In 2012, Brad still teamed up with Weinstein on Killing Them Softly and even let him handle distribution. Angelina revealed that Brad knew about her traumatic encounter with Harvey Weinstein, but still chose to work with him years later. In 2012, Brad personally approached Weinstein to distribute his film Killing Them Softly, even after Angelina begged him not to. For a man who built his brand on family values, siding with a convicted predator over his own wife wasn't ignorance. It was a choice. Angelina called it exactly what it was: manipulation and narcissism. Brad ignored her trauma just to get his movie made, selling out his wife's dignity for a distribution deal. That's not ambition. That's betrayal on a whole other level. And when the 2016 plane scandal exploded, Hollywood's cover-up machine kicked into high gear. Brad didn't face real accountability. Instead, he called in crisis PR pros to clean up the mess. The same image fixers who polished Johnny Depp's reputation were suddenly painting Brad as a misunderstood dad seeking redemption. The tabloids flooded with photos of him sculpting, meditating, and doing yoga, like some soulful artist finding peace. Please. By 2019, he was starring in Ad Astra, playing a quiet, brooding hero, just like the changed man his PR team was selling. Then came Babylon in 2022, more of the same, followed by a 2024 GQ cover shoot with George Clooney, where he looked effortlessly cool and unbothered. The media lapped it up, pretending he was untouchable. But behind that glossy facade, reality was brutal. His own kids were legally erasing his name. You can Photoshop magazine covers all day, but you can't edit out your children disowning you. Even his GQ confession, admitting he'd been drinking or smoking since college, felt like another PR stunt, not a confession. The man wasn't healing. He was performing recovery for the cameras. That's the real irony of Brad Pitt's so-called redemption arc. Hollywood wants us to buy the fairy tale that he's this reformed saint just because he sculpts in his backyard and swapped whiskey for yoga mats. But no glossy magazine spread can hide the truth. His family's gone, and no PR strategy can bring them back. Brad built his whole career pretending to be the nice guy while acting like the villain at home. And even as Hollywood protects him, his own kids are the ones tearing down that fake image, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Angelina Jolie didn't just move on, she leveled up. While Brad drowned in lawsuits and self-pity, Jolie transformed herself into a powerhouse filmmaker and humanitarian. She directed Unbroken in 2014, By the Sea in 2015, and First They Killed My Father in 2017, each one bolder than the last. While Brad played artist in his backyard, she was out creating art that mattered. And she didn't stop there. In 2024, she produced the Broadway hit The Outsiders alongside her daughter Vivienne, proof she's building legacies, not excuses. Imagine how humiliating that had to be for Brad, his ex-wife and daughter achieving success together while he's busy fighting over wine barrels in court. The contrast couldn't be louder if it was plastered on a Times Square billboard. Jolie became a UN ambassador, traveling the world to fight for human rights, while Brad's biggest mission was not spilling beer mid-flight. She's out here being compared to Audrey Hepburn, and he's hiding behind sculpting blocks. Brad's silence over the years wasn't grace, it was fear. He stayed quiet because he knew if he spoke, the whole illusion would crumble. Jolie rebuilt, raised 6 kids, and faced her pain head-on. Brad just hid. Then came May 2025. After 8 long years of chaos, Brad finally broke his silence on a GQ cover. And what did he say? Absolutely nothing. He brushed off his December 2024 divorce like it was paperwork at the DMV. 8 years, millions lost, kids gone, and he calls it no big deal? That's not Zen. That's straight-up delusion. Breaking news straight out of Hollywood. After 12 long years together and raising 6 kids, Angelina Jolie officially filed for divorce from Brad Pitt. And his excuse? I stayed silent to not make things worse. Translation: he was too scared to face the music. That's not maturity. That's cowardice dressed up as PR strategy. You don't get credit for staying quiet while your kids publicly erase your name. His silence didn't make him look wise. It made him look weak. When asked about his kids, Brad's big quote was, "I'm always here if they need me." Please, that's not heartfelt. That's hollow. His kids don't call, don't visit, and don't even share his last name anymore. Saying, "I'm here if they need me," is like leaving the porch light on for a family that already moved across the world. It's not comforting. It's sad. And when his comeback interview dropped, the public saw right through it. Sure, a few fans praised him for sounding calm, but most knew the truth. Brad dodged every hard question. 8 years of reflection, and all he could say was Hollywood word salad about learning and healing. No apology, no accountability, just another performance from a man who's been acting his entire life. Yes, his company Plan B still makes hits like 12 Years a Slave, Moonlight, The Big Short, and Women Talking. But let's be honest, that's his team's brilliance, not his redemption. You can produce Oscar winners and still fail your own family. Now he's pinning his big comeback on a $130 million Formula One film with Lewis Hamilton set for 2025. Slick cars, flashy stunts, massive budget. But no movie can buy back respect from kids who've disowned you. Brad Pitt's Hollywood story isn't over, but his happy ending? Long gone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next bombshell. See you on the next one.